Hi, it's Professor Nelson with the Jewelry Design Department at the Fascinating Institute of Technology, doing another tutorial for our series of tutorials in modeling in Rhino. I'm going to model a 8x6 oval stone. What I have here is the drawing of the top view of that stone, the faceting pattern. To model this stone, I'm going to go ahead and copy this drawing. To one side, because all I need to model are these two curves. The rest I don't need. I do need to have some elevation markers for the crown and pavilion. This is an oval stone, but you base it on the same proportions for a round. Pavilion's 43.1, crown is 16.2% of the diameter of the girdle, and on an asymmetrical stone you use the shorter diameter. So we know this is a 6x8, so I'll make a 6mm diameter circle, and then I'll scale it using the copy option about the center, 0.431 for the first circle, and 0.162 for the second circle. Enter. Delete the guide for the girdle diameter. Move this into position for the pavilion. Go from the top quadrant to 0, and for the crown, bottom quadrant to 0. Need to move the table into position. To do that, I'll use end snap and quad snap with project. Move, that'll project my pick points back to the C-plane, allowing me to move straight up and down without moving in and out at all. Like so. These guides are no longer necessary. Okay. What would be very helpful, though, is to not have a smooth girdle. I need to have a faceted girdle, so I'll go ahead and draw that quickly. Like so. And I'll copy that over. Okay. And put these on the drawing layer. I'm going to draw some connecting lines. The important lines for faceting a stone are the lines down the center of the bezel facets. These are your large planes that they first cut when they're faceting a stone. We're going to replicate that information by drawing lines connecting the girdle and the table that would bisect or cut in half each one of these bezel facets. Going to now extrude surfaces, straight surfaces, planar surfaces, from these curves. Remember, to do an extrusion, you need to activate the proper C-plane to control its direction. Extrusions are always perpendicular to the active C-plane. So for this curve, I will need a right C-plane. Okay? And if I want to, I can trim these up to keep things tidy. It's not necessary, but I can. And I need to extrude a surface off of this curve. The challenge being that there is no C-plane to give me what I want here. So I'm going to use the option of direction in the command line. And to chart that direction, it asks for 2 points, basically where it begins and where it ends as far as the direction goes. And I'm going to pick from this point to this point and pull it out. Okay. The challenge is, since that's at an oblique angle, is that the surface might not end up being a good intersection, but it is. It looks good. So mirror it over. By good intersection, I meant it may not be able to trim against the other surfaces, which is important right now. And that's what I'll do. I'll use this surface to trim off here and here. and trim these off. I'll mirror this over. Trim these. Mirror these over. And use them to trim these. Fine. So, now what I need to do is to draw the outline of the facet itself. Polycurve, using end and mid snap. It's important that that actually comes to the point. So, I need to redraw that. Go into wireframe so I can see end, mid, end, mid, end. Trim. And the same thing here. Trim. And the same thing here. Okay. Now this is going to be a little bit of an odd looking emerald cut. Oval, because you would like this to be narrower and this to be larger. You would actually like these to be kind of equal sized. So I will back up a little bit. Instead of extruding that curve, direction, I'm going to actually pick something that kind of averages the direction of where I want it to go. So I'm going to pick this end and this end. And that'll give me more of a split angle there. And you'll notice I keep trimming when I don't have to. I keep trimming and making things tidy because it makes it easier for me to visualize what I'm actually coming up with. Yeah, it looks better. These are the most important planes on a stone. Okay. So, polyline. Once again, end, mid, end, mid, end, end, mid, end, mid, end, end, mid, mid, end. Okay, like so. And I can trim the surrounding surfaces away. Delete the rest of these. And mirror these from end to end. And mirror these straight across. and planar surface to fill the table. And I can now start doing my star facets. Remember, any straight three sides will give you a planar surface, so I can just go planar surface, edge, 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 edge. Mirror these across. Join. And now I need to create these star facets. Upper girdle facets. Once again, any three straight curves will give me a planar surface. So I don't have to keep using the curve here because it's one big polycurve. I'm going to go ahead and do a planar surface on the girdle just because it'll allow me to use the edge here to build my surface. Join these together. Throw away the bottom there, don't need that anymore. And mirror these around. Join. Okay, and now I need to facet the pavilion of the stone. I unfortunately got rid of my depth information, and I didn't ever mark where that culet is. So I'm going to undo. Not a crisis, and it's a good thing to remember to remind yourself how to do. I want this curve. Control C. I can't click anywhere else. I can't do anything that I would have to undo. Just Control C. Clipboard. And then redo. Once I get to nothing to redo, paste it back in. And put a point on the bottom quadrant. And I can delete it again. So I need to create the same planes that I started with on the crown, on the pavilion. So it's end and point snap. And once again, extrude using my right C-plane. Extrude using my front C-plane. And extrude, not that curve, this curve. Using direction option, using the two ends here, averaging that angle. Tidy it up a little. And back to top C-plane for mirroring. And mirroring. Just trimming and shaping these main planes of the pavilion. And then mirror over what I need here. And here. And draw the outline of my main facets. Using end and mid. Now, honestly, class, this is a simplification. In real life, these stars are actually higher waisted than this. I mean, these bezels are higher waisted, and these mains are lower waisted. They don't go to the midpoint. But when I'm modeling stones, I'm in a hurry. I want things that I can easily get my head around, so I just use mid and end. It's not a really pretty stone cut. And trim. And trim. And trim. I can toss the other surfaces, because here I have enough finished ones to mirror and finish the whole stone. Don't need those two. Pavilion is almost done. I need to draw those same dividing lines for the lower girdle facets. And I have already got a surface edge here that I can use as far as making my three-sided planar surface, so I don't need to put another plane on the girdle. Curve, edge, edge, curve, edge, 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 curve, curve, edge, edge. Okay. Join those together, mirror them across, mirror them around, and I have and in theory this should be a solid. There it is. Okay. Stone's complete. I can delete these lines. I want to brute this so it's a smooth oval. So copy this over. Bring this back. I do not want my depth to change, so I want to use a 2D scale. Right click to get a 2D scale. 0 for my beginning, origin. Unclick grid snap. And I'm just going to pull this out until this stone, I'll need to go wireframe, until this stone clears that oval line everywhere. Doesn't have to clear it by very much, but everywhere it does have to clear it. This looks like the tightest spot. So it's cleared well. It's cleared well. Okay. Going to extrude. Both sides. Analyze direction. Make sure the arrows point towards what I want to keep because I'm going to Boolean. Solid difference. And that's my oval faceted stone. Okay, that's it. Thanks so much for watching.